Welcome back to the MSMB Networks Week in Review, where every week we're bringing you the latest news that affects your digital world. My name's Christopher, and this week we're talking about how Microsoft wants to make Office a subscription-based product, how Google and Adobe are trying to kill Windows XP, we had talked about the law weighing in on Wi-Fi allergies, and finally, an antivirus manufacturer made a big goof and broke most of their customers. Between Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook, most of us have used some sort of Microsoft Office application in the past few years. Well, this isn't going to change most likely for 2013 as their market share continues to grow. However, Microsoft is changing the way they're doing pricing for Office 2013, due out later this year, and these changes really bear mentioning. First off, they're trying to move away from the pay once option and move much more towards a subscription-based service where you'd pay a little bit every month for the right to use their software. For example, for a family of 5, or at least 5 people in a household, you're able to purchase the starter pack of Microsoft Office 2013 for about $100 a year. This means you get Excel and Word, and you're able to use it as much as you want over the course of that year. Business customers, for the same privilege, are going to pay about $150 a year. And of course, they're going to have more packages that are going to include more programs as the dollar amount goes up. Unfortunately, this makes a lot of people unhappy because they're used to paying for, say, Office 2003, and they're still using it today, almost 10 years later. And with a subscription-based service, you'd only get it for the 1 year until they release the next version. You have to upgrade, you have to pay them more money, so on and so forth. Well, already hearing the fact that people aren't liking this option, Microsoft said, but wait, there's more benefits if you subscribe, which, unfortunately, is making even more people upset. Because Microsoft has said that they are going to be releasing new capabilities, patches, exclusive updates solely for those who use the subscription process, which, as you can imagine, makes a lot of people feel forced or tricked into making them sign up for that subscription, whereas otherwise they wouldn't want to, and it's making them question the future of Microsoft Office and looking towards other alternatives such as LibreOffice, Lotus, or so on and so forth. A few weeks ago, we mentioned how Microsoft is going to be killing support for Windows XP in the coming years. Well, it looks like Google and Adobe are trying to hasten the process. Google especially, with its very popular Google Docs, Google Apps, Gmail, and so on applications, specifically say that once Windows 8 launches, they're no longer going to support Microsoft Internet Explorer 7 and only support 8, 9, and 10. Well, for a lot of people who have already upgraded to Windows Vista or Windows 7, this isn't going to be a big deal. But for all those people still using Windows XP, you can't get Internet Explorer 8, 9, or 10. They're only available for more modern operating systems. That's going to be a big problem for a lot of people who rely on Google Docs or Gmail or so on and so forth for their productivity, for their email, for other sorts of connections with other people. Well, what does that mean for people who use Windows XP? Most likely it's going to mean that they need to upgrade or use a different browser, such as Firefox, Opera, Safari, so on. Well, not only is Google doing this, but Adobe as well. Its incredibly popular software suite, Photoshop, with the next release, is no longer going to be installed in Windows XP. The minimum system requirements say Windows 7. Again, they're going to be timing this around the same time Windows 8 launches. While this all means that Microsoft is going to be supporting Windows XP for some time to come, at least another year or so, most of the applications that people still use on Windows XP are going to be going away, especially as we move to a more online and collaborative workspace. The most up-to-date, secure operating systems are going to be required to make sure that these providers remain safe. So, even though you might be safe using your Windows XP machine for another year or so, you might lose a lot of functionality as soon as Windows 8 is released. As a company that helps others set up networks, both wired and wireless, we often get the question, are wireless networks dangerous? Am I going to grow a third arm? Am I going to break out in hives? Am I going to have trouble sleeping? Well, some municipalities are in fact so scared of being sued over wireless networks that they have banned all public Wi-Fi. So Starbucks and other companies can't provide wireless to their guests for fear of a public outrage. One man in Santa Fe, New Mexico, has decided that his health problems were in fact all caused by his neighbor's wireless networks and cell phone use. So he decided to sue them to the tune of $1 million, claiming that when he was home for a couple hours or even just a few minutes, He had tightness in his chest, his arm hurt, he was tired and slow and couldn't work. The judge, being something of technically minded, said, excellent, let's do a blind trial so we can see whether or not your symptoms are in fact related to wireless, or if they're psychosomatic or caused by something else. Well, the plaintiff, having heed and hawed and denied and delayed and really kind of refusing to put on a case or even attempt to prove that the wireless networks were the cause of his supposed injuries, the judge actually did his own research and discovered that there has never been a single scientific study that has shown or proven that the electromagnetic signal that is carried by wireless networks has ever negatively affected a human or animal. Now, I should mention, a lot of people get worried when I mention electromagnetic signal. Your TV, your monitor, your light bulbs, the sun, everything emits some sort of electromagnetic signal. The radio, your cell phone, everything out there in some way reflects or emits a wireless signal. This court case is very important because it really should set the bar for future cases where people claim wildly, hey, I got this illness from wireless, or hey, this is going on, or hey, that's going on, and it's your fault for your wireless network. Well, hopefully, this will encourage them that before they go to the court case and before they start suing people and before they have other people waste a lot of money on lawyers, they actually have some proof to bring to the table. This individual certainly didn't, and he was asking for outrageous damages. Well, his neighbors actually did move away because they couldn't stand living to what they described as this nutball, but the larger picture remains. If you're going to sue somebody, especially over something that is so widespread and universally shown to be harmless, have some proof to back it up. The first thing MSMB Networks recommends you do with a computer when you unbox it and you turn it on for the first time is install an antivirus. It's so important these days because any computer that's exposed to the wild internet is likely to be hacked, or at least tried to be hacked, within the first half hour. So that's a pretty scary figure. Well, these antivirus companies are always trying to keep a step ahead of the virus makers and make their detections and their scans a little more robust and a little more intricate and a little more developed. Well, unfortunately, for Sophos Antivirus, one of a large business class antivirus manufacturer, one of their updates, which again, I suppose never got tested, actually detected Sophos itself as a virus and deleted key portions of it, including the ability to auto-update. Their support lines were absolutely slammed over the past couple days, and unfortunately, the fastest way to relaunch or get your software back up to date is to install it all over brand new and make sure not to include that one little update which automatically downloaded, which broke the whole thing in the first place. While the company released a patch pretty quickly, it caused many, many, many hours of confusion and anger and problems for companies all over the country, and this is the kind of thing that people need to really watch out for when it comes to automatic updates. Now, we always recommend that you keep your antivirus and your Windows computer up to date as often as you can. Check it every night, that kind of stuff. More often the better. Most of these programs do so automatically. However, no company is perfect, and in this case, Sophos, and in the past, other companies such as Norton have had this problem where they push an update too rapidly, perhaps in the face of a threat or in a supposed threat, and it just crashes everything. In that case, it is much more important for you to reinstall your antivirus program than it is to go several days or weeks, please not months, without an antivirus. We know it's a little bit of a hassle, but it's so important to be protected that it's worth the time you take now rather than the hours and hours and hours of headache you'll face later if you're online without protection. Well, that about wraps up this week in review. As always, my name's Christopher for MSMB Networks, and every week we're bringing you the latest news that affects your internet world. We'd like to thank you for watching, and especially for hitting the like and subscribe buttons and for sharing it with your friends. All the links to the stories we've talked about today are down in the comments below, and if you'd like to see a particular story or you have questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below and we'll make sure to respond. Have a good week, and we'll see you next time. We are MSMB Networks, managing systems for managing business. Like us on Facebook, join us on Twitter, and of course, subscribe to this, our new YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.